In episode number 227, we cover the Worldwide Nintendo Switch Conference.
We also have a little bit on the future for Hellboy 3. People have been asking for it for years, and Guillermo finally has an answer.
We'll also let you know about some of the DC Comics April solicitations. Are we DC fan people? Yes.
Our comic book review this week is Harley Quinn, number 12, with the return of the Joker as he faces off against Red Tool.
All of this and so much more on today's show. Hello and welcome to the Reasons I'm Broke podcast, bringing you the reasons we're broke, ranging from comics, movies, TV, video games, and more. I am a Snuffleupagus.
And I'm not. I'm Daniel.
And I'm Kelli. And I am fighting a little bit of a cold. It just, creeped in this morning. It was like, hey, bitch! And I'm like, fuck. So I'm very stuffed up, very congested. It moved straight to, my face and my chest, and I'm just like, blah.
Would you call yourself a Snuffleupagus?
A Snuffleupagus.
Is that a Winnie the Pooh character?
Well, they have heffalumps and woozles. No, Snuffleupagus was somebody. I don't know. Somebody had a Snuffleupagus once upon a time. So yes, I am trying to be a Winnie the Pooh character because everything is nice in the 100-acre wood. You just eat honey and take naps.
So there you go, Brokeheads, for anyone that was missing Kelli last week from our special episode featuring the lazy gaming guys. You now get a sick Kelli, but on a longer episode because we've got 2 weeks of news. Since we weren't able to record last week, we did record the special episode with the lazy gaming guys ahead of time so that everyone can still have some content for that week, whether you're driving home from work, to work, or at work. Maybe even at home and you're enjoying the podcast there. We do want to make sure that there is something out there for all of you. And we do want to get your feedback on the Lazy Gaming Guys. Let us know if you did enjoy that podcast, that episode, and if you want to see them in the future. As you could tell from that episode, they know way more about gaming than both Kelli and I combined. So that was something special for Brokeheads, especially that are looking for more gaming out of their podcasts and out of the Reasons I'm Broke.
Do they know about Harvest Moon gaming?
I'm sure they do. I'm sure they do.
I wanted to beat them in something.
They know more about Kingdom of Hearts than you do.
I don't know what that game is, so I'm sure that they do know more about it.
Actually, you just got that game. Tell them about 2.8599999. Are they going to keep making these?
3.147 no, was the thing for pi. Yeah, so we just picked up 2.8. It contains Birth by Sleep and Dream Drop Distance, 2 games that I never played.
You're in for a treat. Dream Drop Distance is my favorite of all time.
That's only because you could get frogs.
Hell yes! You don't like frogs? I like frogs.
I know you like frogs. So when I eventually get around to playing 2, which is still sitting in my little shelf of games to play.
Which you've beaten in the past. Let's make that clear to listeners. You have beaten that more times than I have. You went through and did the 100 Heartless fights.
Oh, man, that's my favorite one. Because you're just like... That's what you do. It's not a lawnmower. It's using other Heartless to kill other Heartless.
But now you can beat it in HD.
Yes, I can. I mean, and again, when I have time. So I'm still trying to beat Pokemon. This last week, I tried very hard to beat Pokemon. Got close. I'm on the final island. I went to, Executor Island, and the Executor fucking killed himself. I was like, great. I was trying to catch this asshole, but he killed himself. So I'm on, the final... I'm not even in a trial. I don't know. I'm on the last island running around doing things. Oh, I'm in those caves. Do you remember where you have to have, all your guys to help you get through the caves?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where I am right now. So I'm real close, I think.
Yeah, you're pretty damn close.
Right. So I need to beat that. That's first priority. And we're still playing Batman, Telltale
game.
Yes, we got to beat that eventually someday. So Kingdom Hearts is on my list. It's just a little further back. I'll get to it someday.
Probably on the same list and spot as me because I still have... We went back to the Batman game and I knew it. I told you if we go into 2.8 now, we're never going to beat the Batman Telltale game because that's just the way it works. I know other gamers have that ability of jumping around from game to game. I don't have the talent to do that. When I learn the controls for something, it sticks with me until I play the next game. I can start playing Star Fox, which I played for the N64 many years ago, many times. If I jump between that and anything else, I still won't remember what the original controls were for Star Fox. It's probably an age thing. When I was a kid, I can do it no problem. But at this point, I just have to focus on one thing, finish it, and then go on to the next. Especially now when we don't have time to play a lot of these games. it's even more difficult to go back and remember where you were. Thankfully, the Batman game gave us a recap and said, this is where you fucked up. This is when you yelled at Alfred. This is what you did well. Are you going to help Vicky Vale? I'm like, I don't know, game. Because when we try to pick decisions, to anyone not familiar with the Batman Telltale game, is it's all decision making. But you get like a 5-second window to actually make your decisions as Batman and as Bruce Wayne. So I'm answering things, and we both are, how we think Batman would answer them. But it seems like the game is trying to make us do something different. They're trying to make us give information to, like, Vicky Vale.
I don't want to give information to her. I don't trust her.
Like, one of the things is you're trying to have Gordon trust the Batman, because these are the early days of Batman. But as Bruce Wayne, I figured you shit on Batman, because that's what Bruce Wayne did in the animated series. Mm-hmm. That's what he seems to do. Well, not in the comics anymore, but I go by animated series. And he always acted ignorant of Batman. And in this case, I'm trashing Batman. I'm like, he's a monster. He's a terrible thing for the city. And it's like, Gordon will remember that. I'm like, wait, no, was that bad?
Why is he remembering that?
Am I influencing Gordon by being an asshole billionaire? Mm-hmm. So I'm completely unsure on how to play this. But that's currently on our radar. The Pokemon Bank just went up. Mm-hmm. So I transferred all of my competitive teams, all my competitive Pokemon over to Sun and Moon. So I'm getting ready. If I'm going to fight Red, I'm going to fight him with my good Pokemon. The ones that'll poison, protect, and watch you die slowly
as I heal.
Pokemon. So that's what I'm going to be doing with my Pokemon game.
As you feast on my blood or whatever it is that your Pokemon do.
It does some... That's how I play. I don't know. Everyone has their strategy, and mine is to choose
feast
the most
blood.
annoying strategies.
So after I beat this game, my next goal then is to catch like as many Pokemon as I can. Get all my islands up. Run around, just get these Pokemon, because why the hell not? Oh, and take all the pictures I can, too. That shit's fun.
It's like Pokemon Snap on the go.
Yeah, I'm at, like, I got my 3rd level camera. And I was like, yeah, I got 10,000 thumbs up. And they're like, cool, now get 100,000. I'm like, oh, shit.
So you're essentially running an Instagram in Pokemon.
Yeah. I take pictures of Pokemon, and people respond with, not that good. And I'm like, this is like the internet.
To any new listeners out there, the way we format the show is first we cover news. In this case, we talked about our week a little bit. And then we cover comics, movies, TV, video games, and more. And end up closing it with a comic book review of the week as well. I do want to say that we are coming off one of the most successful months so far in the podcast's history. I had tweeted out and I'd put up on Facebook that if we had beaten, I want to say like August or April of last year, we will have had the second most downloads in the past 2 years for the show, which is fucking huge. And we ended up eclipsing that, huge thanks to all the listeners. But I went back and I was like, okay, so then if it's in the past 2 years, which one is our second best of all time? And I keep going all the way back to 2012. And it is now the second of all time. It's not just the second most downloads in the last 2 years. It is in the podcast's history.
That's awesome.
The most downloads in a single month is this month right now in January. It's a combination of things. We talked about Rogue One and have some guests on there, so we had some new listeners tune in. We also had the Lazy Gaming guys, so a couple of their fans went on over and listened to our show.
I ran for president.
Yeah, exactly.
That brought in some more people.
What's funny is a bunch of our, one of our spikes was the President Kelli, or like one of the election ones. And I'm sure it's because of all the Trump stuff right now that people are Googling it and our podcast is popping up. So fine. Welcome to the show. And also the fact that people got new devices for the holidays, new iPads, new iPhones, all of that in combination. Is leading to people discovering the show. But we haven't had a January this high, even post-holidays, until today, until this year. So we joked about two weeks ago that best month in 2017, it might stay as the best month in 2017 because this bar is incredibly high. We'll see how it goes for the rest of the year. It's only the beginning. If we top it, even better. But to celebrate the fact that we have the second highest downloads this month, I don't know if we'll hit first because there was an abnormal month where we got this. I don't know if we got featured on iTunes or what, but it'll be hard to top the best month we've ever had. But still, the second best month. Because of that, we're going to run a special promotion for all the listeners out there. We're going to do a giveaway.
Giveaway! That was your giveaway. I sang to you.
Let them know what the Kelli giveaway, what the Reasons I'm Broke giveaway is, and how this is going to work.
So, one very special listener will receive a free t-shirt of their choice.
Of their choice.
Of their choice. One of our t-shirts of your choice. If you are the first person to tweet us, as in both myself and the typical podcast. And I'm not going to say it because you guys should be listening now and you should know the Twitter handles. But you tweet both of us this very special hashtag.
Hashtag all hail Palpa Kelli. So this is almost like a special coupon code right there.
I wish that was a coupon code.
It's so specific. Hashtag all hail Palpa Kelli. First broquette to tweet both Palpa Kelli and myself with that hashtag. You can include whatever else you'd like on your tweet. Will receive a free t-shirt of their choice, of their size, as available on...
No, not of their size. I choose the size.
nerdupmedia.com/shop. So those are going to be your options there. If you want to head there and check them out ahead of time. Otherwise, I would make sure you tweet it. And if you're saying, hold on a second, what about the people that get the podcast early, the Patreon backers? Yes, they get an early chance and an early shot at getting this free t-shirt. And that's a perk of being a Patreon supporter. Patreon.com/thereasonsimbroke. They get the show early. They also get special access to the polls, decals if they're at $5 or more, a special feed just for them where they get the podcast early, and in this case, first dibs at the giveaways.
Can I tweet myself? Is that a thing?
I'll just get you a shirt, but I wouldn't tweet that because they would immediately know what it is.
Aw, damn it. I wanted to win. It's not about getting the shirt, it's about winning.
Even if you're not a Patreon backer, still check hashtag all hail Palpa Kelli just to see if anyone's tweeted it yet. Because maybe they haven't. Maybe you do still have a shot. Or if you want, just retweet it or send it over our way. We'll still retweet you. But the first broquette that tweets us that will get that special t-shirt of your choice completely free. We'll ship it out to you.
I'm going to create like a massive movement of all hail Palpa Kelli. It needs to be a movement. Like people all over the world are like, yeah, Palpa Kelli. And then I'm like, I do not need this power. But I already have the power. So, I mean, it's cool.
Except for the next election. You'll need that power again.
Yeah. I mean, it's already pretty much in the bag.
As usual, we do have a hashtag game that we like to put out there for the listeners. And this week's was hashtag boring movies. My entry was Captain America 3 Drivel War.
Why don't you ever, include me on these things? You never tell me.
I'm including you right now, and
okay,
you're not.
But I can't
come up with one.
I can't think up things on the spot. Okay, I'm a snuffleupagus, and I can't. So we do have some from listeners out there. First is Star Trek Bed Bath & Beyond.
It's actually from the same listener, Matt, over at the Super Side Up podcast.
He also said Harry Potter and the Chamber of Commerce.
That one was my favorite.
I'm pretty fond of this Star Trek. You need to include me, you need to tell me a week in advance. So I have time to think of things and
I thought you said, last time I told you about it, you said it was only on food-related hashtags. That's what you told me.
It depends. You just gotta let me know.
Sometimes I can, sometimes I can't.
You don't use that voice to describe the things that I say. That's not what husbands do.
You should hear Kevin Smith's
oh no
impression of his wife.
Oh no.
It's the same voice he uses when he does impressions of his dog.
Oh no. No. Well, it's like Louis C.K. and how he talks about his wife.
He doesn't have a wife anymore.
Well, exactly. Your husbands need to learn to be nice.
So here's the huge block of episode number 227. It's going to involve Nintendo and their huge worldwide conference as they answered more questions about the Nintendo Switch and really brought out the big guns as far as the third-party support they're going to have initially.
So announcing through a special conference on the week of January 13th, Nintendo gave their latest console, the Nintendo Switch, a worldwide launch of March 3rd, 2017.
So we now have a street date. The system will retail for $299.99 and will include the main console, Joy-Con controllers, a Joy-Con grip to which two Joy-Cons are attached and used as one controller, a set of Joy-Con wrist straps, a Nintendo Switch dock which holds the main console and connects it to a TV, an HDMI cable, and the AC adapter.
Who named these things Joy-Con?
That's a weird name, isn't it? Joy-Con?
It sounds like something really kinky from Japan.
Well, it is from Nintendo, and I'm sure many Nintendo fanboys got hard-ons when they saw this.
Okay, then it's perfect.
The Joy-Con.
Good for whoever named it. So we will have two stylish versions of the system that will be released. A version with a set of gray Joy-Con, and a version with one neon blue and one neon red Joy-Con. Both versions will be the same price.
Okay, so real quick, the price, $299.99. People were speculating that it was going to be $200. I think $300 compared to the consoles we're getting released now is not too high a price for
Correct.
consumers. And it seems like most people are okay with that pricing.
Yeah, I think so. Because if you think about it, how much is the 3DS? It's $200 now anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So for an extra 100, you get something that, I mean, it kind of works like a 3DS. You can take it with you for a small amount of time, or you can play it at home. That price point is okay for me.
So this not only connects to a TV at home, but it also instantly transforms into an ongoing, on-the-go handheld using its 6.2-inch screen. If anyone is unfamiliar with what the Switch is, it is both a console and a handheld system. Everything that people wanted the Wii U to be, that's what a Nintendo Switch is. The actual console is that controller, that screen, much like a 3DS. So if you lose that, you lose the console. The dock is just essentially a port. It is a glorified HDMI cable that also charges your system.
The screen includes capacitive multi-touch capabilities for compatible games. Battery life can last for more than 6 hours, but will vary depending on the software and usage conditions. For example, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild can be played for roughly 3 hours on a single charge.
This is probably the worst part of the system, is that charge time. It's not as strong as it could be. The original 3DS was horrendous with its battery. People had to buy those extra battery chargers, the external ones. We will probably see something like that from third parties for the Nintendo Switch. And unfortunately, that is, aside from the games that they've currently launched and announced, I'm very tempted to simply wait until they announce an enhanced version of the Switch that has longer battery. Maybe it's a slimmer one. Who know? I don't know what kind of upgrades they can do, but even if they just bundle it with a Pro controller and say, hey, and this also has longer battery life, then fine. That's probably when we're going to jump into it.
But like you mentioned, those external batteries, I definitely think that's something that we're going to see. And what they could do, and it'd be super smart, make it essentially like a cell phone case, the charging cell phone cases that you see now.
There you go.
So now your screen is protected too in case you drop it. You just slide on that X, and then you can slide your controllers over that. I think we will definitely see something like that for $50. And yes, people will spend the extra money.
More from Nintendo here. The system will support online Wi-Fi multiplayer gaming, and Nintendo also unveiled a new online subscription service that will begin with a free trial at launch. So the fully featured paid service will be available in the fall. It does now cost money to get online gaming.
How many people really use the online gaming, though? The ones who really want it are willing to pay for it.
When I worked at GameStop, my manager at the time said if Nintendo wants to improve their online presence, they're going to have to charge something to get these servers up and going, to get better internet. I think it was a combination of their inexperience with the online market, but hopefully they'll get that nailed as soon as this thing comes out. Especially if people are paying to play online, they better make sure that there aren't too many issues when that service goes up. And I think part of that is free trial. That way they can see what kind of traffic to expect and how they can deal with it. Because if they charge from the beginning, there's going to be issues. They're going to be giving out a lot of credits in the future for any mess ups or any blackouts that they do have.
Something that everyone is definitely waiting for, though, and I think will drive the majority of the Switch's sales, is Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, which will launch with the console in March and will be available as a standard edition, special edition, and a master edition.
The history of the royal family of Hyrule is also the history of the Calamity Ganon, a primal evil that has endured over the ages.
Master Edition is already sold out. that bitch is fucking gone. The special edition includes the game, a Nintendo Switch Sheikah carrying case, a Sheikah Eye collectible coin, a relic of Hyrule Calamity Ganon tapestry / weather-torn map, and The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild Sound Selection CD for a suggested retail of $100.
This sounds like a great price, but I have been fooled by these special editions before, and everything's going to be real wimpy.
This is not Arkham City, Kelly. It's not Arkham Origins. No, it'll be fine. This is still going to be a collectible bit because Zelda fans are crazy. Even if you aren't buying it, if you want to buy it for the purpose of reselling, which, I don't know, I kind of frown upon that. But if you're doing that, then Zelda's what you want to jump in on, because in 2 years, people are going to be looking for a sealed version of the special edition. Or the Master Edition, which actually includes all of these items, plus a Master Sword of Resurrection figurine. That one is going to cost you $130.
For 30 more bucks, yeah, might as well. But like we said, they're all gone. No more.
Another Nintendo title that is going to help with the Nintendo Switch library is Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, which will allow for up to 8 local wireless multiplayer gaming.
All tracks and characters return from the Wii U version, plus all DLC tracks and characters, and new characters join the roster too. These include Inkling Girl and Inkling Boy from Splatoon, as well as King Boo, Dry Bones, and Bowser Jr.
Bowser Jr. is so cool! I love Bowser Jr.
No, he's spooky. I don't like him.
Love them in Super Smash Brothers.
I like King Boo better.
Love them in Double Dash.
Can we have Peekaboo? Is he in there? Why doesn't Pikachu race things?
Because Game Freak would want their own bit of the money.
Oh, yeah. Pikachu.
I think people forget that Nintendo didn't create Pokemon. It was made by a company, and Nintendo just went, we own 51% of you.
Game Freak went on Shark Tank, and they're like, I have this Pokemon thing. And Nintendo's like, fine, but I want 51%. And then they cut to commercial, and then we come back, and they're like, okay, we'll take that deal. And like Nintendo goes up and...
So players can now carry 2 items at a time. That first started in Double Dash. So we're a little bit closer to getting another game for Double Dash. And these include new items returning from previous Mario Kart games, such as Boo, which is the item stealing ghost from N64, and the Feather, which gives players a high jump in battle mode.
Boo didn't steal items in N64.
I'm pretty sure he did.
Boo was not an N64.
It wasn't as an item where you click it and then it goes... Oh, he made you invisible, right? Is that what it was?
I'm pretty sure Boo wasn't an N64. Let's pull out the Google here. Oh, damn it. Boo was in there, but what did he do?
Yes.
But he didn't steal items.
Well, you're about to find out that he made you invisible and you stole another player's items randomly.
He didn't steal an item. Where do you see that? So when you use the Ghost in N64, these drivers cannot be touched and pass through carts and obstacles. He doesn't steal any fucking items.
I thought there was one in which he did steal items.
It would be probably in another game or something, but not in N64. I'm like the N64, master.
The one who thought that there was no Boo in Mario Kart 64.
The one who knew that at least a Boo didn't steal any items. Making up shit.
Players can even choose to use a new Smart Steering feature, which makes driving and staying on the tracks easier for novice players, even when you're playing in 200cc.
So it's like putting up bumpers when you're bowling.
Yes. Mario Kart bumpers.
Yes. I feel that I need that, because I can't play all this fancy finagling Mario Kart bullshit.
And it's not the first time they've put up a player helping feature. We saw that in the Mario games, in which you got... After you lost the level 5 or 6 times, you got a special item that lets you, made you completely invincible, or
cool.
There was the one where the game would play for you and beat the level for you, which was all optional, so players didn't have to use it. And the same goes with this special feature. I think it's more for kids, kids that want to play with their parents.
And Kelly's.
And Kelly's, who want to play with parents and want to play with everyone else, but they're not as good at it, so they don't want to feel I don't know, they're holding everyone back and they're the worst. They're getting 8th place every time. But that's kind of a cool feature. I think it'll really come in handy for families.
It's for parents, so their kids will shut the fuck up when they lose.
Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is set for April 2017.
We also have some news on Splatoon 2. It will offer players all new stages, new fashions, and new weapons on 4x4 turf battles.
I never played the original Splatoon, but I know a lot of Nintendo fans really loved it. They thought it was a great online multiplayer game. And this game will actually support voice chat using the new Nintendo Switch Smart Device app. And this is going to be a free limited version that you can get on your device, whatever it is, iPhone or Android. And it will add new stages, fashions, and weapons after launch. So you get the app and you can essentially use your device as the speaker when you're playing online. Yeah, that'll drain the shit out of your phone or your app. Unless they're talking about... They might be referring to a Nintendo Switch specific app, actually, now that I think about it. if they want to make the device more like its own standalone thing and integrate less of the gaming or less of the devices into your gaming, then maybe you actually have to download it on your system and from there pay a fee if you want the full experience. I don't know how that's going to work, but we're going to find out very soon. I know Nintendo is trying to do more with its gaming on Android and iTunes. That Fire Emblem game's about to come out on Android.
Mm-hmm. So when you say all new fashions, does that mean you can change your clothes?
I believe so. I haven't played Splatoon, so I can't tell you for sure, but I'm pretty sure that's what that is.
Why don't we have this game? If
You
it's
can
something
play it.
where you can buy clothes, but I don't want to fight. I just want to make them look pretty.
So this is set for summer 2017.
We will find out then if you can change your clothes.
This next game is what's almost making me jump on the launch.
Super Mario Odyssey will be the first sandbox game that allows Mario to fully explore his world since Super Mario 64 on the Nintendo 64 and Super Mario Sunshine on the GameCube. Woohoo! Yeah!
This is set for holiday 2017, so you got a Zelda game for launch and the Mario game for the holidays. Perfect 1-2 combo for 2017. If they can keep that steam going and rolling into 2018, they're going to look pretty good. But Mario Odyssey, I don't know if you've seen screenshots or videos. He throws his fucking hat around, and his hat has eyes.
But he can't lose the hat because then he'll get extra hurt.
What's that from?
N64. You know nothing of N64! I have all the answers!
I made the joke on Twitter that it's the sorting hat.
Lands on, like, turtles. Slytherin!
I think it looks amazing. There's some worlds in there that are city worlds, and you have actual people, which is a little bizarre, but you have actual humans interacting in the same world as Mario. Kind of gave me a Sonic 3D open world feel when I saw that. Because in the Sonic games, he was kissing grown women and interacting with grown humans. And that's kind of the sense I got. But to me, if Mario's going to be running around in an open world again, and we know Nintendo can do fucking platformers, they don't do those bad. They nail those and they make sure that those are perfect when they come out. Even on their systems, they will give third-party developers a more limited version of their development kits than what Nintendo actually uses. So if you pay close attention to like Wii games or Wii U titles, the graphics on Nintendo first-party games look way better than anything that the third party gets. And they've come out and said there must be something they're not giving us access to because their games look fucking beautiful.
I do that same shit, man. If I created something, I'm like, but mine are going to be the best. So like we said, holiday 2017, definitely looking forward to this. Maybe I will be a Switch master too, like I am an N64 master.
So you're thinking of getting Super Mario Odyssey in the holidays?
No, I would suck at it. But I'll watch you play it. I will still be trying to beat Pokemon Sun and Moon.
As a reminder, Nintendo Switch is set for March 3rd, 2017. Let us know if there's other news that you really liked from the conference. It was a long fucking conference. It was like an hour and a half. It wasn't the best run thing, but, we got the info. We got everything we needed. And if you want to hear full coverage, head on over to youtube.com/lazygamingguys. They did an almost 2-hour coverage of this conference by itself. Full in-depth with what they're looking forward to, what they liked, and what they didn't like. So if you liked last week's episode, please check out, once again, youtube.com/lazygamingguys.
We're going to move on with some movie news, talking about one of my favorite directors, Guillermo del Toro, who took to Twitter to let the world know that he's ready to meet with actor Ron Perlman and creator Mike Mignola for Hellboy 3.
Hellboy 2, The Golden Army, released back in 2008 with an ending that hinted at a follow-up movie. But why haven't we seen 3 up to this point?
Because Guillermo was crazy and asked for a $120 million budget, which Legendary Pictures turned down. They're like, nah, you out your mind.
You are going to give me $120 million, and I would make this movie.
No.
Give him the fucking money. Give Del Toro the money.
Because they just have $120 million lying around.
Del Toro has previously said that if 2018's Pacific Rim Uprising did well at the box office, that it would open the doors to Hellboy 3.
I don't think I agree with that, but I definitely want to see Pacific Rim, aka written by a 15-year-old boy.
You liked the first one, didn't you?
I did, but it was written by a 15-year-old boy. And then these robots are going to fight this giant shark monster, but then all the other shark monsters are just going to become bigger shark monsters. And then the dad, there's something wrong and he's just bleeding from his nose, but then they're going to kick ass anyway. Like, what the hell? It's not as written by a 15-year-old as I believe Triple X is written by a 15-year-old.
Can't wait to see that.
Because riding motorcycles on water is just the most ridiculous thing I have ever heard of in my entire life. Which
Maceo mentioned that does in fact happen. It's not just like a trailer recut so it looks like they're not. He said that they're actually motorcycles with like jet skis on them.
No.
And they ride fucking waves.
My brain is breaking. No.
It's such a ridiculous idea that you have to go, okay, here you go, $10. Let me see this. Let me watch this thing. Do you care about Hellboy 3?
No.
Is it too late? Should Guillermo just let this go?
Have I seen the other two? I have not. So I know nothing of the character. I know nothing of did the other two movies do well?
Yeah, they did fine. They weren't like record setting or anything, but
the thing to consider too is comic movies are really hot right now too. Like if you're ever going to bring out a third one, now's the time.
His whole thing about if Pacific Rim does well, then we can do Hellboy 3. Is the way that studios look at when they greenlight something is, okay, what else have you done and how much money did that make us? So if he does Pacific Rim 2 and it flops at the box office, we probably won't see Hellboy 3.
We won't see Guillermo ever again. That's what I thought you were going to say. I was going to be like, oh shit, not Guillermo.
He would just be a producer for the rest of his fucking life and keep making money off of that.
But he needs to make movies like Pan's Labyrinth. It's one of my favorite movies.
So Guillermo also held a poll on Twitter with his followers to measure the demand for a third movie. I think that's kind of self-gratifying a little bit.
Hello, all my friends who like all my Hellboy movies. Do you want to see this other one?
They're all going to say yes.
Of course they are.
And I voted on that too. And I said, yep, let's see Hellboy 3. Let's get Doug Jones more work.
Oh, Dougie Jones.
Did you forget I know you haven't seen the movies, but he plays
he's like the fish man.
Yes, yeah. He is.
Yeah, you told me he was there and I was like, cool. You know what I liked him best in? Pan's Labyrinth.
He's going to do Star Trek now.
Yeah.
Star Trek Discovery.
What's he going to do?
I don't really know. I would have.
Alien?
He's got to be an alien.
Yeah.
There's no way
because he's like kind of alien looking.
That's his thing, right?
Tall and skinny. He does a great job.
Put him in a fucking costume. Have him show up every single week and have him be one of the many aliens on the ship.
Can he be the Pale Man?
That would be fucking amazing. The Pale Man on the Star Trek Enterprise, and he keeps trying to eat like. Well, he'd be trying to eat babies, right? Wasn't that his thing?
Would he be like a yellow shirt? Like, what would he be?
I feel like he wouldn't wear a shirt, but he would wear the pants.
See, I thought he'd wear the shirt, but not the pants.
Why is that?
I don't know. I just thought it'd be funny.
Was he nude in that movie?
Yeah.
He was, wasn't he?
Yeah.
I think he would be a good member until like they got to a planet or until he came across a crew member that had a child, and then he would lose it. And that would be like the episode where he's trying to control his urges because they need him and he's friends with these guys.
He needs to get to a planet of just babies. Or like they're evacuating a planet and the only thing they can save are all the babies in like the hospital. And they're like, come on, no.
And he starts eating babies. I was going to say that he fights his urge at the last moment thanks to something another cast member told him in the story earlier about you're not a monster anymore. You don't have to
You are who you choose to be.
Exactly. And then that's what snaps him out of his like hunger.
Mufasa comes out of the clouds. Remember who you are.
And then there's a shot where it's just light. And you're like, oh my God. Did he make it back? Is he gonna? And it's just him with an armful of babies coming through. He didn't eat a single one. And they're like, yes! And it's like the happy moment in that episode of Star Trek Discovery.
So it never happened.
He got over his baby eating habits.
So what does he eat?
They replicate. They use the food replicator to make like
babies?
Fake ones, fake babies, ones that wouldn't be affected by. It's just like I think that's one of the things Roddenberry said is. They eat meat in that only from the replicator because then an animal isn't dying or suffering to feed people. So anything you make in the replicator, it'll still harm your health if you're just replicating a bunch of chocolate, but it's not at the expense of others.
Right.
So there you go. Baby's not at the expense of others, just at the expense of creeping people around him out. It's the Pale Man. That's what he does. And little fairies, too. He eats little fairies.
Yes. But they're evil fairies, aren't they? Didn't they, like, bite her? And then he, like, smelled their blood or something?
No, they were...
What am I thinking of? Which fairies bit people?
You're probably... I don't know what you're thinking of.
There was some other movie where there were fairies and they bit people. And they're like, ah, fuck. And they're like, oh, don't touch the fairies. They're assholes.
So Guillermo.
If anybody knows what movie I'm talking about, hit me up on Twitter. But I'm not going to tell you the Twitter handle because then you'll know. So, yes, let me know on Twitter. No, there's something with fairies and they're evil and they bite somebody. Oh, the labyrinth. Remember? He's going around, like, spraying the fairies. Like the guy with the big nose. He's spraying the fairies, and then what's her name comes up, and she's like, what are you doing? They're fairies. And then one bites her, and she's like, ah, fuck. And he's like, yeah, fucking assholes. You don't remember this?
Labyrinth. I haven't seen it in like 3 years.
Last
time we saw it.
You only watched it. My eyes can be so cruel. That's the only part you watch.
It's the best part in the movie. They never put it in the soundtrack that I remember. It's just when he's running around the fucking maze, flipping around in stairs, talking about how he wants to sleep with this 14-year-old.
What's the part where he gets really high pitched? Live without your sunlight.
That's the very end of the song. I can't. That is the first time I've ever done high pitched in years. I'm like, I wonder if Of course, I save it for the podcast when we're recording, and this will be up forever on the internet.
Forever.
And 20-year-old falsetto. Fuck.
I'm gonna like refer to this for every family holiday. Like, oh, let's listen to Dan and his.
My God damn it! Oh, not a. Oh. Look, fine, but you guys have to take a podcast card. Here you go. Listen to the
Tell
podcast.
Tell your friends.
All right, Black Adam.
Black Adam.
Dwayne Johnson. Well, Shazam. Actually, I got to do that. Right.
Yes.
Shazam is still 2 years away from its reported release. Actor Dwayne Johnson. I think that's what we're going to do. Just scream Shazam. It's always with an exclamation point.
Yeah.
That's the official title. I'm just going by the title here, guys. Actor Dwayne Johnson claims that his role of Black Adam will be spinning off into his own movie.
Calm down, Dwayne. Nobody told you that. You had a dream about it.
This is in the same category as they let me choose if I wanted to be Shazam or Black Adam. Yeah. It's like, no, they didn't let you choose, Dwayne. The Hollywood Reporter and Deadline are saying that Shazam and Black Adam would be developed simultaneously.
That would be pretty cool. Like, ooh, which one do you want to see? Do you want Black Adam to be the good guy, or do you want Shazam to be the good guy?
I think Dwayne Johnson
is delusional.
He has the pull to bring in audiences. One of the things I overheard one of the customers at the shop, he's like, I will watch anything with Dwayne Johnson. Like, it's cool that he's Black Adam, but people really like him. They love that actor.
I saw him. Wasn't he in like Daddy Daycare? No, that was somebody else. Was that Vin Diesel? Who was in the movie? No, it was.
You're thinking of like the Tooth Fairy Dwayne Johnson has done.
Yeah, but no, he did the one
where he's the football player as well.
Well, yeah, we just watched that one. It's not a good movie. Wasn't he in like Journey to the Center of the Earth or something?
Yep, and 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. That remake is coming out this year. But yeah, Dwayne Johnson. If I had to guess as to why he's so popular, and nothing to knock the guy down, I don't dislike him or anything, but I just happen to not really get drawn to his movies because they're generally for action movies and comedies, I guess, is mainly what he's been doing, is what I've kind of seen. But he was a wrestler first, and then successfully moved on to Hollywood, and has actually done a pretty decent job, which you don't see a lot of wrestlers kind of escape wrestling and do well. A lot of times they end up with lifelong injuries that prohibit them from doing much of anything else. And some of them, unfortunately, don't have the talent to do what Dwayne Johnson has been doing, is huge gigs at, the Fast and the Furious movies, and now he's going to be in the DC Cinematic Universe. So it's almost like the wrestling underdog as far as overall, most wrestlers don't hit this level of success and don't end up doing it this well. I could argue that Dwayne Johnson is a pretty decent actor for what he's been doing.
This guy makes like 1 million movies.
Makes a shit ton of movies, makes a shit ton of money. He doesn't have to go back to wrestling.
He's doing a remake of Jumanji. That's the thing.
Is he the main guy?
Yeah. He's on the cover right there with his tight little button-up shirt and his super tiny pants.
He was voted the sexiest man alive.
Was he really?
The most recent one, yeah.
Huh.
I don't see it.
I don't see it. I don't. Anyway, he's going to be in Baywatch. Oh, he was in Moana. He was Maui's voice.
He's a fucking voice actor.
Yes.
He was a decent voice actor at that.
He plays his own voice in WWE 2K16.
Boom.
I mean, why not? Jim in the Holograms, WrestleMania, the movie. I like that he doesn't like run away from his wrestling stuff though. Oh, he was Hercules in that shitty Hercules movie.
He was.
Huh. I mean, I'm trying to see like
originally the Scorpion King.
The Scorpion King? Oh, from
The Mummy.
Mm-hmm. Oh, shit. Yeah, I remember him. Still don't see it, but whatever.
That got his own spin-off. Remember that? Because he was just a villain in one of the Mummy sequels, and then they said, you know what? This guy's getting kind of big. Give him his own spin-off. So then they told the story of the Scorpion King and how he came about.
He was in a movie called Why Did I Get Married Too? Like, did your friend bully you into it? And you're like, damn it.
So now do you think a Black Adam movie could work? Will it? It would not bomb. There's no way this bombs because people that are into comic book movies are going to go see it, and then the moms that voted him in as sexiest man alive are going to go see it.
I mean, he does have a strong jaw. I'll give him that. I always thought that a Black Adam movie would work. When did I ever say a Black Adam movie would not work? He was in Star Trek Voyager. What the hell? This man's been in everything. That 70s show? Oh, he played himself.
So if you were the head of you're Jeff Johns.
Okay. Hello.
Kelly Johns.
No, I'm Jeff Johns.
We've got Shazam, we've got Black Adam. We're going to film it back to back.
Okay.
How do we release these? How do they work in terms of story?
One is told from Black Adam's point of view, making him the good guy. And the other is told from Shazam's point of view, making him the good guy. Because villains are best when you feel for them. And Sinestro will be in there also.
And Sinestro.
Just his little old Sinestro hand.
That's a little... I thought about that too, but isn't it a little risky to make the same movie again? Would it feel like you were kind of ripping off audiences a bit by selling them the same one twice?
I wouldn't say the same movie, but maybe... I don't know. It'd be risky. I don't know what they're going to do. It's going to be fucking awesome. I mean, obviously, Black Adam and Shazam have a past, right? Like, way back in ancient Egypt or whatever. And so maybe I would tell Black Adam's story about why he's doing all these things against Shazam, and Shazam's just constantly trying to stop him.
And it's a good story.
And it's a great story. And then you jump now to the future where you have Billy as Shazam. Black Adam awakens, says, oh man, I was stopped last time, but I'm going to do that on this earth now. Now you're feeling for him because you understand why he's trying to do what he's doing, but you understand that Billy still has to stop him to save humanity. Boom! Where's my Oscar?
So Black Adam comes out first.
Yes.
To start the Shazam franchise, you put out the villain movie first.
Yeah, hell yeah.
That is the riskiest thing right there, Kelly Johns.
Jeff Kelly Johns.
So speaking of the DC Cinematic Universe, veteran comic creator Jim Starlin posted on Facebook that he recently received his royalty check from DC Entertainment / Warner Brothers for the use of KG Beast in Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice.
For those of you who don't remember who KG Beast is, he is a man with a scar over his face and a flamethrower. And
he threatens Martha Kent?
Martha! That's my
got my
mom's
Marthas
name
confused
too. Don't confuse your Marthas. So we do have a quote here from him. Quote, just received a very big check from DC Entertainment for my participation in Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice. Much bigger than anything I've gotten for Thanos, Gamora, and Drax showing up in any of the various Marvel movies they appeared in combined. Guess I'll finally have to sit down and watch the movie.
Fuck yes, I'm getting royalty checks that are more than... That astounded me. Thanos, Gamora, and Drax combined. I'm like, what the fuck? Are you serious? Hell yes, I'm gonna fucking watch Batman v Superman.
I'm gonna love it, and I'm gonna say it's the best movie ever.
Exactly. If I'm like Frank Miller got a royalty check for Batman v Superman, and he should also be like, fuck yeah, but it's the fucking greatest movie ever in the fucking world. And there was one creator who recently had, I want to say it was maybe The Killing Joke, or one of the other DC movies that they said, it might have been actually, you know what, it was for Doomsday. Mm-hmm. They received the royalty check for BVS as well, and they were like, yeah, Batman v Superman's amazing. Can't wait. You guys should really need to go see it, and it's awesome. And have we mentioned we got paid royalties for Doomsday? I thought that was amazing. It's like Paul Dini right now with Harley Quinn.
Yep.
Loves everything with Harley Quinn.
Everything. Oh yeah, I love her new look. Love it. No, you don't, Paul Dini.
Well, I guess in a recent interview on Word Balloon, they asked him, John Sintros asked him, what do you think about the sexualization of Harley Quinn now compared to the more innocent Harley that you created. And it all started with the Arkham games, really.
Right.
And he was like, I'm fine with it. I wrote it. And John was like, oh, yeah, you did fucking write the Arkham games.
That's true. Well, good for you, Deanie. Just rake in that money.
Do you think that's a misstep from Warner Brothers and how they pay out all of these creators? Or is it just Disney kind of like, here's some pennies?
Here's a little bit. I think that's what it boils down to. I think
Disney has the better lawyers, is what
Disney
you're saying.
has better lawyers. I don't know that I would go that far. What it almost feels like to me is DC has more respect for these creators. They're not just saying, thanks for letting us use it, here's a little bit. They're saying, this was an integral part to our movie. This was part of the story, and you deserve credit for creating that. That's what it feels like to me. Not just me being a DC fangirl or nothing.
Although that doesn't hurt. So, future of the DC Cinematic Universe. DC and Warner Brothers' Green Lantern Corps film is set to move forward with David Goyer, who wrote the Dark Knight trilogy, and Justin Rhodes, who wrote Contract Killers.
I don't
Never
know.
heard of it when I looked them up. They are writing the script according to Deadline.
The film will reportedly focus on Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart and is described by Deadline as lethal weapon in space.
Boom, Jon Stewart. That fucking confirms it. More than just Tyrese going on Instagram, going on Twitter, telling everyone, tell that Warner Brothers, tell DC Comics that I need to be Jon Stewart. It's like, shut up, Tyrese. We don't want you as Jon Stewart. And now Warner Brothers, and you got the writers here, they're saying, we are going to include Jon Stewart in this. And we're not saying who it is
But
yet.
it's not going to be Tyrese.
Hopefully it's not Tyrese. Jon Stewart, the most recognized Green Lantern for our generation, is going to be in the Green Lantern Corps film, along with Hal Jordan, the most recognized Green Lantern, period.
Of all generations.
Of all generations.
Yes.
Win.
Who would you want to play Jon Stewart?
As I've mentioned in the past, I am the worst at casting. I don't want to be that guy that's like, oh, well, Idris Elba, he needs to be Jon, because that's everyone's guess. And I'm not a casting director, and I know nothing about contracts, and even less about actors that are actually available to play the role or would even consider it. So I never guess at these at all, and I don't want to be I don't want to just guess what the major thing is, because I know Idris Elba has much bigger roles that he could be working on himself.
I want it to be played by the guy who does his voice in...
Phil Lamar?
Yes. Phil Lamar.
I don't like that guy anymore.
Skinny ass Phil Lamar. I don't like him anymore either. He was a jerk.
That's what happens at conventions sometimes, everyone. Sometimes people are jerks.
He was a jerk.
He was. That's what I'm saying.
I just wanted his autograph. I was going to pay him, but, he took everybody else's autograph except for mine, so... Sorry,
Never gonna let
Phil
that go.
Lamar. Never going to let it go. But Kelly, you showed up like 3 hours late to convention. Never gonna let it go.
No current confirmed release date has been announced for the Green Lantern Corps, but what do you think, Kelly? Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart, what villains do you want to see? Should they dive right into Blackest Night? Should we see them in the Justice League movie this year? How are we gonna do Green Lanterns?
Sinestro.
Definitely do Sinestro.
We've
gotta see Sinestro.
But it's gotta be like old finger Sinestro. Pointing
You really want to see old man Sinestro?
Yes, I do. He was so handsome with his galaxy pants.
And are we going to do Sinestro as in his original design with the giant forehead, or are they going to do handsome Sinestro
Sinestro.
They do a regular forehead on him? And
they still do a slightly bigger forehead.
It got smaller over the years. Like that's like by next year, it's going to be like he's going to have no forehead,
like half a forehead.
His hair will start at his eyebrows.
Then he'll be ugly Sinestro again.
They'll have to reel it back in.
I don't think we're going to see Sinestro in this one.
I hope we fucking get Sinestro.
I mean,
really want Sinestro.
He might make a cameo. Again. I don't think he's going to be in it. If they do Sinestro, they got to do the same guy who did it in the other Green Lantern movies, because he was great.
Even people that didn't like the movie liked Sinestro.
Yeah, because that guy was great.
I forgot the actor's name, like Mark Strong or something.
He
did a really good job.
Such a handsome Sinestro.
Kilowog. Do you put in Kilowog?
Yes.
You
gotta have Kilowog.
Sinestro. All right. Tomare?
Sure. Dougie Jones. Put him in.
Kyle Rayner.
No, I don't like that guy.
Guy Gardner.
Don't like him.
They're going to put them in there.
They're
going to appear in some form.
Don't like them.
Guardians.
Don't like them either.
But you've got to put them in there, too.
No, you don't like them.
Larfleeze.
Yes, I like him.
The Red Lantern Corps.
Which ones? Razor? Razor can be in there.
Just Razor, though?
Just Razor. None of the rest of them. I mean, you can have Atrocitus and the little bouncy ball guy.
What about the Blue Lanterns?
Yes, I like them, too.
Indigo?
No, don't like them.
Black Lanterns.
Don't like them. They're
okay,
spooky.
So this will not be Blackest Night for Kelly.
Okay, fine. You can put in Black Lanterns.
Will this be Blackest Night? is this going to be Green Lantern Corps, Blackest Night?
That'd be, like, hella awesome. I think it'd be great. Yeah, go ahead and do it.
I think to start off, do the Green Lantern Corps, call it Green Lantern Corps, have Jon Stewart, have Hal Jordan go up against maybe the Sinestro Corps. Do the Sinestro Corps War as your first movie. Then you get Sinestro, and then you hint at the other colored lanterns for the sequels.
No, don't like them. Because I don't want all the colored lanterns.
If they're going to do Blackest Night, they'd better put them all in.
I want the orange lanterns, the orange lantern, but I don't want the indigo lanterns because they're lame. But I like the blue ones and I like the pink ones.
If they really wanted to give audiences nerd boners, at some point within the next 10 years, when inevitably you see the Justice League work with the Green Lantern Corps, they need to show us on the big screen Green Lantern Batman. However briefly, just like in the comics.
It's Yellow fine. Lantern Batman.
You can show us Yellow Lantern Batman too. Both of them work. Batman doesn't care.
We will accept both.
He's a good every color lantern. It doesn't matter what ring you give him.
Could he be a pink lantern?
Yes. Do you see how many women he's loved over the years? Of course he can give him the
He's only loved Catwoman.
No, he's loved...
It's not like a sex lantern color.
Okay, well, how many women have loved him? How many women and men have loved Batman?
Like lots of them.
There you go. He would absorb their love, and he would use that as... He can be any fucking color.
He could just be a pink lantern off Superman's love alone.
Oh, yeah. That would power him. Like
the
is that
sun.
His battery? Superman? All right, let's move it along here to comic book news. Good and bad on DC's part. 2 episodes ago, we tore Marvel a new one over their use of digital codes. We're going to be a little mean to DC this time because they're letting the success of DC Rebirth kind of get to them a little bit. And we see it time and time again. It happens to every company, and it's going right back to DC Comics.
So before we get into our criticism of DC, though, we do have some news about some things that are coming out soon. So almost 1 year after the DC Comics Rebirth special, the showcasing of Alan Moore's Watchmen merging with the DC Universe will unfold with April's 4-part crossover between Batman and The Flash, numbers 21 and 22 of each.
Arguably, their 2 biggest characters right now. Not necessarily the most recognized ones, but the ones that...
Batman's not the most recognized, please.
Well, what I'm saying is, people are watching... The biggest superhero TV show is The Flash.
Yes.
And the biggest comic book character is fucking Batman, because it's Batman. So you use those 2, put them together to solve this mystery of the Watchmen. So titled The Button, the crossover will be written by Tom King and Joshua Williamson, with art from Jason Fabok and Howard Porter.
Tom King is like my favorite person right now, so this is great.
Tom King's the man.
Yeah, he's a man's man. We have a quote here.
It's the solicitation, yeah.
Quote, "The 2 greatest detectives in the DC universe unite to unravel the mystery behind a certain blood-stained, smiley-face button stuck in the Batcave wall. However, what begins as a simple investigation soon turns deadly when the secrets of the button prove irresistible to an unwelcome third party. And it's not who anyone suspects."
So not Dr. Manhattan.
I'm gonna just suspect everyone.
Not Ozymandias.
I'm gonna suspect everyone.
Luthor.
Now, lame. Alfred.
So
oh no, the giant squid. Oh, fuck, man, we're done
comes
now.
out of nowhere. Yeah. He's like, you took me out of the fucking movies? I'm gonna show up in your DC Rebirth, bitches.
Like, he comes up from the Batcave, you just see these tentacles. Done now.
Each issue of the Button crossover will feature a standard cover for the $2.99 edition, along with a $3.99 version featuring a lenticular 3D cover by Jason Fabok.
What is lenticular?
It's a fancy word for 3D covers.
Oh. I want to make up fancy words for, like, nothing. I made you this lenticular lasagna.
What does that mean? What do you mean lenticular?
It's just a fancy lasagna.
I thought you were going to say the lasagna's in 3D.
Here's a fucking 3D lasagna.
Giving us an option, $2.99, $3.99. Most readers will, of course, pay the extra $1.
Oh, I
happily
won't.
For the 3D version, 3D cover of Fabok's comic book. And if you look at the 2 issues, both Batman and The Flash, He's added the bats in the background and the lightning for the Flash that as you turn the comic book around, it's going to look really cool. Mm-hmm. And they're doing it differently than they did the Future's End ones, because those had that ugly border around the book, which made them a lot less appealing. These look a little bit closer to what we saw from Villains Month. So it's a full image, and elements throughout it are going to be popping out at the readers. But if you don't want to pay the extra $1, you have the option, $2.99, no 3D covers for you. Just standard edition, save the $1.
DC has also announced they will be releasing 2 free comic book day books featuring Rebirth's Wonder Woman run and the DC Superhero Girls.
With these titles, stores that order a minimum of 5,000 copies will have the option of adding their store's logo and contact information on the cover of their copies.
Keeping in mind that each free comic book day book cost stores 25 cents, so that's like $1,250.
It adds up pretty quickly.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people forget that all these free comic book day books are not free for the stores.
Yeah.
And I'm sure the publishers take a little bit of a loss as well printing these things out. But that's why, that's the whole idea of free comic book days, to bring people into local comic book shops. If anything, so that they get a slight bump from the sales that day, so that people aren't just picking up books, but, maybe picking up something extra on the side, supplies, maybe a figurine that they saw, or other comics that may be released that month. But more importantly, it puts stores on the map for a lot of locals. If they're not aware of the stores being where they are, they now know, like, oh, what do you mean free comic book day? Yeah, let's go to my local comic shop. You can get some free comics. And they'll know from then on forward that there is this place and this store that they can get gift certificates or that, nerdy gift for their friend or themselves. And it's just good for everyone. And that's why they try to do a free comic book day type event several times a year for comic shops.
And you've seen it in your own experience. You just have tons of people who show up for these things. So they're great, even though, they cost stores and they cost publishers something to get people into the store, like you said. And maybe this is one of the first comics they get and they say, oh shit, I want to pick up more. It's definitely a great thing. If you have a local comic shop, go out for free comic book day if you've never been. It's like a little convention in a little store.
Same time every year, first Saturday in May. What do you think about their choices on the free comic book day book for DC?
It's awesome. Get women in there.
Reprints for Wonder Woman, which makes sense because you have Wonder Woman coming out months from now.
Yep.
DC Superhero Girls, going with that over Teen Titans Go.
Yep.
Or Justice League Action.
Yep.
Good, bad?
I think it's great. I don't think it's great for their business. But I think in the years that I've been to free comic book day, it seems like every book is catering to boys or to men. And to have something that I could walk in, maybe I'm there with my brother or with my dad who's trying to pick something up and say, oh, here's a book for me. That's pretty awesome. That's pretty empowering for a young girl.
Yeah, I think the downside, when I saw that it was Superhero Girls again, is we had that last year, and we were stuck with stacks upon stacks of DC's comic Superhero Girls, which shocked us a bit because we're like, oh, well, damn it. Like, all the little boys obviously weren't grabbing them.
Right.
Because they think it's for girls. And not that many little girls were getting that one either. So it's like, shit, man. Like, this was way less successful than we expected. Maybe it's different now because the web show is up and running. All the different products, the Barbies, the toys, all of that is out there. We've seen, maybe the Happy Meals have done their thing at this point. But I don't know. Maybe the book will do way better this year than it did last year. So they're obviously trying to build that brand. They definitely believe in it. And I don't have the statistics behind it. Maybe the show is doing incredibly well for DC Entertainment. Maybe the toys are selling. If we had a little girl, we would be buying them DC Superhero Girl stuff.
Of course. All over the place. If we had a little
boy, if
I'd
they
be
want
buying
that too.
Him. Yeah. So here's your Batman toy, and then here's your Catwoman toy.
Like that 180 we did there. Like, oh, whoop.
Oh, boy too. And moving on.
So here's the bad, Brocats.
The bad.
While DC's Rebirth line had promised to keep its books at $2.99, the publisher will now move 15 of its titles up $1 to $3.99, but will add a digital code of the purchased book.
Oh, Marvel's not doing it? Okay.
Are we talking about Marvel here? What's going on?
So these titles include All-Star Batman, Batgirl, Batgirl and the Birds of Prey, Batman Beyond, Batwoman, Blue Beetle, Cyborg, The Hellblazer, New Superman, Red Hood and the Outlaws, Super Sons, Supergirl, Superwoman, Teen Titans, Titans, and Trinity.
So 15 titles, $3.99, digital codes. These titles, here's my biggest fucking problem with this. These titles are, aside from All-Star Batman, are not books that are selling out consistently or doing extremely well for DC Comics. So you're raising the prices of books that definitely have a higher chance of being canceled. You're raising that $1. And you're thinking that the incentive of a digital code is going to be helping comic shops or the book itself in selling more. That is not the fucking case. And I will tell you, as a I'm not even speaking as someone that works in the comic industry, but as a fucking reader who buys the books physically, who buys some of these titles that we mentioned, raising it $1 and giving us a digital code, as we talked about in two weeks ago, it is not for us. The physical buyers, I'm guaranteeing less than 10% of physical book buyers are redeeming those fucking codes. We don't care about the codes. We didn't care about the codes when the New 52 released the special edition version of the code. Like, okay, you can pay the $3.99 for these books, which come in a special poly bag thing. You get the comic and you get the digital. Even then, we didn't care. My comic shop didn't carry extras either because physical comic buyers did not care about the special codes. People that are buying Marvel books that were getting the physical code, majority of them did not want that either. And that was the biggest issue 2 weeks ago with Marvel. They're making other books available for that digital code. People that were already paying the extra $1 are even more upset because they're like, well, now I don't even get the fucking code to the book I just bought. Now it's going to be something completely different. These 15 titles, which we probably will see half of these canceled by this time next year, one of those reasons will be the fact that it's a $4 comic. And I understand, I've talked to my fellow coworkers, I've talked to other people, other readers at the shop, and they're like, well, we're kind of used to paying $3.99, so it's not as bad as Marvel's $4.99 or $5.99 books. Or every 10 issues of Deadpool, they raise the price to $9.99, and they're like, it's got extra pages, here you go. Readers hate that shit.
Yep.
They want consistency. They don't want price gouging. So I'm probably more upset about this than most readers. And that's fine, and I get that, and I know people appreciate that they're getting the digital code for what they're buying, unlike what Marvel's doing. But I don't like that they're doing this to titles that are already struggling. And I wouldn't have liked it either if they did it for the books that are coming out twice a month, because then I'm paying an extra $2 every month. Right now, it's good. I'm paying $2 extra a month compared to the $3.99 book. We're paying $6 for 2 comics a month. That's fine. That is perceived value. If they were to add the codes to there and add the extra $1, not a good thing. I don't get this fucking move at all. It's only to try to get readers over to the digital platform, which is never a good sign for the comic industry. It doesn't help out readers. It doesn't help out retailers. This is just bad overall.
Yes, I definitely agree. I can see why they're trying to do this, and I'm sure that they see the perceived value because then the collectors can keep their book nice. They just enter the digital code and it's right there. That's how they're looking at it. But you on the front lines of this industry, seeing what people are purchasing and why they're purchasing, you understand that that's not what they're doing. And I think eventually that will trickle up and they'll say, okay, this isn't what people want. But right now they're going to try it. I mean, they probably are looking at the response that Marvel is getting from their move and seeing that people are saying, but we enjoyed the digital codes. We enjoyed being able to save that copy and keep it nice. And they're saying, well, let's try it for ourselves.
I'm sure that's a part of it and why they're keeping it, but this had to have been a planned move from months ago because they don't just go into this without coming up with a plan first and then announcing, hey, April's books are going to have this digital code and it's going to be $3.99. I don't know. I don't like it. We do have a quote here. Giving readers value was a key component of our Rebirth initiative, and we're continuing that commitment with this move, stated John Cunningham, SVP, Sales and Trade Marketing. We've heard from many fans that they like to read and collect our books in both digital and print formats, so this new offering gives DC readers the convenience and value pricing they asked for. What fans have been saying? We love digital and print.
Marvel fans?
One fucking fan? Like, the one person just so they can say that they have heard from fans?
At least 2, so they can say fans. Or maybe they had one of those Blade fans running, and one of the execs stood on the other side, and they're like, this is what we want.
One bit of good news, I guess, out of all this are to people that only buy digital is that their books are staying at $2.99. So if you're that rare breed that only buys their books digital, then you're not gonna get that price raised because they can't charge you an extra $1 for a code that you're not getting because you're already getting it digitally. So for you, Trinity, Red Hood and the Outlaws, all these titles are gonna stay at $2.99, which again pisses me off as someone who works in the industry because now a digital version of these 15 books are cheaper digitally than they are physically. Downside, yeah, they're saving $1, but they're not getting a physical book to collect and to potentially resell at a later time.
Well, what this means is for the people who only get it digitally, for an extra $1, they can get a physical copy.
That's fucking true. That's very true. And one of the comments I read was, why is digital $2.99 when it doesn't cost them anything? Like, they're saving on printing costs at this point. Well, it's the same thing that is going on with digital video games out there. Why aren't they just saying, okay, you can get the game $60 at GameStop, or you can get it $30 from the PlayStation Store? It's because they want to maintain that relationship with brick and mortar stores, like Best Buy, Target, GameStop, or in this case, comic book shops throughout the country. They don't want to undercut the industry, essentially, because we're the ones selling the books. Without the comic book shops, you don't really have a comic industry in the same way or form. Honestly, I think the comic industry would go away without a bunch of these comic shops around. The digital platform, works great for music, but comics, as I've heard from even different shoppers, is going to be one of the very last, if at all, if it ever happens, one of the last platforms that goes completely digital compared to everything else, like movies and music and records and all of that.
As you said earlier, though, all the twice-a-month titles like Detective Comics, Batman, Harley Quinn, Wonder Woman, etc. will remain at the $2.99 tag without adding the digital codes.
Yeah, because that would have killed them for sure.
Yeah.
If they raised the price on the twice a month. And they could still, but we probably won't see that for another year if they decide to raise those prices. And as soon as they do, I'm going to be doing some severe cutting on DC because twice a month books, I don't care what publisher you are, I'm not going to pay $3.99 twice a month for the same for the same series.
Right.
So on to the more positive notes from DC's April news. It was revealed that Harley Quinn co-creator Paul Dini will be joining the current Harley Quinn ongoing comic to co-write a backup story with Jimmy Palmiotti.
That's amazing. That's like the best news I've ever heard.
The greatest Harley Quinn writer, handler of the character, Paul Dini, on one of the most successful comics for DC. Win fucking win. Pay the fucking man whatever he asks for. Keep him on that comic. It's a backup story. Fine. Like, that'll be... Okay, so we get the entertaining Harley Quinn from Jimmy and Amanda, and now we get the Harley Quinn from Jimmy and Paul Dini.
So this backup will take place in the early days of Joker and Harley's relationship, which is great, especially coming off the heels of Suicide Squad, where everybody's like, that's what I want to see. I want to see them before, when they were in love and ruling Gotham. Yeah, it's Dini doing a better job of that.
Fuck yes. Hopefully this means that, and we said before in the DC holiday special times, that hopefully this means that Paul Dini is open for more work and he'll start doing other comics. And now we're getting that. We're getting him and Harley Quinn. Get him on Detective Comics next. Get him on Batman. Like, just keep him in that world.
Make him write everything.
Also, on that same John Sunder's one word balloon, he asked him, like, you're also writing for Justice League Action. Don't you kind of get tired or feel like you're running out of stories for these characters? And he's like, no, not really. It's just I have plenty of stories for all of these DC characters. I don't think I could ever run out. So while they're still alive, pay them, make stories that you can make movies out of in 20 years, 100 years, 200 years. Keep these original minds around. Give them work. Make them right.
Mad Love is still there. Make a Mad Love story.
Fuck yes. We saw Mad Love on the big screen.
Yeah.
Won't be the last time, I'm sure.
So speaking of the big screen, we have a very important season for all movie lovers coming up, and that is the Oscars 2017.
The Oscars? What the fuck? What is the Oscars? Is that like the awesome, amazing Breisners that we got last year?
Very similar. So I'm sure many of our brokeheads have heard of the Oscars. It's some small dinky award show.
It's like, aren't they the ones that spun off and tried to make their own thing out of the Broscars?
Yeah, essentially. I mean, they pick movies, and there's some critics, and they vote for which ones are the best.
Are we on that committee?
Category. Well, we're not, because we're the Broscars.
Okay, yeah, we're already in a specialized committee.
Right, we're all already... See, we're just a committee of 2, and we've been this successful. They could not handle that with just 2, so it is many. As part
Too
of
hard a decision to make.
Right.
So you needed more people.
Exactly. But we perfected it long before they did. And that is what the Broscars are, where we decide the top movies of the year.
And they went fucking nuts over there. Like, they came up with 10, 15 categories or some
a lot
crazy
of them.
bullshit.
We just need 3.
Like, most of those don't have anything to do with the Reasons I'm Broke podcast. What are you guys
None
doing?
of them.
Only 3 of them.
Yes.
Only 3 categories.
But here's the thing. They had to take our idea and take it way far, so it just didn't even relate to us.
So it appears as if it didn't relate.
Correct.
Sure. Well, we've got the categories.
The only ones that matter.
You know, if they choose something in February, you know, maybe they'll pick the correct choices. Maybe they won't.
They won't. They usually don't.
But we are going to... Are we going to give the nominees and the winners this year? Are we going to do it for this episode, or are we going to do it next week?
I think we need to do it next week.
Okay, next week we're going to give the winners of the Broscars 2017.
Yes.
But today we're going to give you the categories and the nominees.
Yes.
While we are the 2-person committee for the Broscars, it all comes down really to Palpa Kelli.
Well,
because she's the emperor.
And I'm the wife.
I'm only the Darth Vader Daniel.
Yes. The
apprentice. We still want to hear from Broquettes. Who do you think's going to win in these different categories? Who do you want to win in these categories? We'll read them, take them into slight consideration, but at the end of the day, 'tis Emperor Palpa Kelli with the Palpa choices.
'Tis me.
Palpacisions.
Palpacisions.
Palpa winners.
Is that what they are? Palpa winners?
They're whatever you want to call them.
Fuck yeah,
They're the Broscars. So let's start with first category of the Broscars, Best Animated Feature.
Yes.
And working our way up to movies that we have covered here on the podcast.
So nominees for Best Animated Feature, we have Kubo and the Two Strings, Minora.
There you go, Minora, yep.
Yes. My Life as a Zucchini, The Red Turtle, and Zootopia.
Congratulations to the nominees. You can now put on your Blu-ray box, Broscar-nominated Kubo, Broscar-nominated Zootopia.
Broscar-nominated Zucchini.
Put that little gold sticker. We're not paying for that. You do that yourself.
No,
put that gold sticker.
You got to get it printed and designed.
Broscar nominee. I'll send you the logo. Whoever Disney and I don't know the rest of these production companies, but those are the nominees for Best Animated Feature.
The next category we have is Best Makeup and Hairstyling.
Nominees are A Man Called Ove, Star Trek Beyond, and Suicide Squad.
Oscar-nominated.
Broscar-nominated.
Suicide Squad. Let's just take a moment to appreciate that. Because as you were watching Suicide Squad, did you ever think it would be Broscar-nominated? Did you watch this and say, this is some Broscar shit right here?
Not once.
Not once.
And we liked the movie.
We loved the movie. I've seen that movie like 5 times.
If you were to tell me that this was going to be a Broscar nomination at any point, I would have called you fucking crazy. And it is crazy, and it's a nominee.
But that's the Suicide Squad is crazy. That's what it is.
Crazy good makeup and hairstyling, and they do. I mean, fucking
agreed.
Killer Croc looks phenomenal. They did not go the fucking shitty route of doing a giant CGI Killer Croc. They put a guy in makeup, made it work. You can see all the everything moves so incredibly well.
And it's paying off for them because they can put on their cover now, Broscar nominated.
Broscar Suicide Squad. Final category, Palpa Kelli.
Yes, for Best Picture. Our nominees are Arrival, Fences, Hacksaw Ridge, Hell or High Water, Hidden Figures, La La Land, Lion, Manchester by Sea, and Moonlight.
Have the winners been spoiled? Have long-time listeners give an educated guess as to who the winner of this category is?
Mayhaps, but we may also see more of these movies in between now and when the winners are announced.
We will announce the Oscar winners next week in episode 228.
So stay tuned, listen to that episode, listen to my Palpicisions for the Palpa winners.
I'm hoping to. But yes, they're the Palpicisions.
You're giving me your thoughts, and I'm deciding.
Advising.
Yes, and I'm not listening to advice.
But don't forget, listeners, to give us your thoughts and who maybe do you want to do like a runner up or
nope.
The Empire says no.
Yeah, the whole Empire said no, and the Emperor said no.
Winners next week.
The Emperor says that is too much work for me.
Best of luck to all the nominees.
Yes.
You will be notified next week if you are a winner.
I will also come up with an original song for the Oscars.
Good. All right. There's work for you right there.
Why did I say that? An original song for the Oscars.
You know I'm no good with instrumentals. Like, it's just going to be vocals.
My voice. Yes, that's fine.
So thank you so much, Brocats. We do also want to thank our Patreon backers as well.
Mm-hmm.
We do have a shout out this week, final one of January. And it goes out to Brian on Twitter at BrianSchaup1.
Thank you guys so much for your support. Every single one of our Patreon backers, your support is invaluable to us. But if you're listening to the show and you say, I want my shout out, I want to get the episode early so I could have won that free t-shirt, you can head on over to patreon.com/thereasonsimebroke. And for as little as $1 a month, which comes out to about 25 cents an episode, you too can be a Patreon supporter.
So huge thanks to Brian again at BrianSchaup1. He bought that really nifty black and white, the Reasons I'm Broke t-shirt with the white ink on it, black. Really awesome. Thank you so much. So he's supporting us in more ways than just Patreon. We also want to thank fandomfi.com for the help at the $5 decal tier. They also made the Reasons I'm Broke decal available through fandomfi.com, but they are printing out all of the different decals that are exclusive to the Patreon backers once they receive them every 3 months.
But of course, guys, our podcast will always be free. The best thing you can do for us is leave us a review on iTunes, tell your friends about us, interact with us on Twitter, Facebook, MySpace. I don't know. Do we have a MySpace?
No, hell no.
We should have a MySpace so I can have like spinny glitter roses on the back of the page and like that real like that kind of music.
So you can tell people in person like, hey, have you seen my new picture? Oh, yeah, I saw it. Why didn't you comment? You should comment on it. Can you comment? Comment when you get the chance.
Can we send those notes on the side? What were those even? Bulletins.
I remember the bulletin
yeah,
boards
you had,
and the journal.
And the bulletin was always like, repost this or like a fucking dead baby will come out from under your bed and eat your soul. I made up one of those ones and it was the most ridiculous thing I had ever made up in my life. Like, I was just pulling bullshit out of everywhere and people reposted it. And I'm like, you're all fucking idiots.
Now we move on to the comic book highlight this week, and that is for Harley Quinn number 12. Tons of Harleen Quinzel this episode.
Yes. So this was written by Jimmy Palmiotti and Amanda Connor, with art by John Timms and Chad Hardin, and my favorite colorist name, Hi-Fi, or Hifi, or Hi-Fi.
He's mysterious with his naming.
He is. Or Hi-Dash-Fi. Like Ladasha. Do you remember Ladasha? Man, Ladasha.
Hyphen Fi.
Ooh.
He-Fi. He-Fi.
No. He could be Hi-Fin.
So this is the issue in which the Joker, he's been back for a couple of issues now, but we know that there's a semi-love interest, I guess, with Red Tool. It's someone that deeply cares for Harley. She may not have the same feelings for him, but it is someone that wants to protect Harley Quinn from the abusive boyfriend that was the Joker. And the last time the Joker appeared in Harley Quinn's world, she threatened to kill him if she ever saw him again.
Right.
Of course, that's not going to happen because, one, it's a Joker. They're not going to kill off one of the most profitable characters in the universe. But two, Harley Quinn will forever be the Joker's tool. As soon as he says, Harley, come back to my side, in a snap, she will be the helpless puppy again. That's Harley Quinn. That's the origin of the character. And really, as we've always said, she will forever be one of Joker's tools. And we love Harley Quinn, but that's the reality. So this is Red Tool trying to rip her away from that world, trying to protect her from the Joker. And Red Tool is the DC Universe version of Deadpool, which, ironically enough, Deadpool was Marvel's Deathstroke. So
all comes full circle.
Exactly. So what'd you think of the ex-boyfriend versus the new crush?
I thought it was super sweet. I love Red Tool. I think he's great. I think he and Harley should be together.
I didn't know you liked Red Tool.
I do like Red Tool. He's cool. Isn't he like a creepy old man under there, though?
He is. He's not a handsome character.
No.
Just like Deadpool.
And he's got like a masturbation arm.
Yeah, he's got like a different person's arm now because his was blown off. He doesn't have the healing factors or anything like that. But yeah, he's a cool character. He just wants to protect Harley Quinn. And the Joker does not see this guy as a threat in any way, shape, or form.
I will say I do not trust the Joker in this issue at all. He's all like, no, I'm not going to fight things because I want you to see that, like, I really want to be with you. And I'm like, he's lying, kill him.
Yeah, he's never this affectionate or at Harley Quinn's beck and call, which is either a mishandling of the Joker or what's most likely the answer in what you said. He's just tricking everyone. He is not really there for Harley Quinn. Or yeah, this might not be the Joker. It might be a double or someone trying to fuck with Harley Quinn. Who knows what it is, but this is very abnormal for Joker, and I think we're going to see that payoff very soon.
Mm-hmm. Something we do get to see in this issue that I thought was really great is we get to see flashbacks of their relationship with classic Harley in it.
And even flash forwards of what Harley still wants her life to be. Still wants to have kids with the Joker. Still wants to fight Batman with the Joker. Mm-hmm. Wants to get married to the Joker. Things that will never happen.
Right.
Because it's the Joker. And we saw that in last year's Suicide Squad film where Enchantress shows her what she really wants. And it's a normal Joker and a normal Harley and a couple of little babies.
That was great. I want to see more of that.
All of that a throwback to Paul Dini's and Bruce Timm. I don't think Bruce Timm gets enough credit either. It all seems to go to Paul Dini, but that Mad Love story, the Batman Adventures Mad Love one-shot of something similar with Batman's head hung up on a fucking wall, a bunch of kids running all over the place, Joker on the couch reading a newspaper with a pipe on his face.
That was great. I love it.
Really good stuff. Awesome for any Harley Quinn fan out there.
Mm-hmm. And with that, guys, we can wrap up our super duper action-packed Nintendo Switch podcast. Thank you guys so much for tuning in this week and for tuning in last week while we had the week off.
Don't forget to let us know what you thought of the Lazy Gaming Guys as they guest starred on the Reasons I'm Broke podcast. Make sure to give them a follow on youtube.com/LazyGamingGuys.
And of course, guys, always let us know what you think of our podcast. If there's anything you want us to touch on, keep sending in your picks for the animes we know nothing about to watch their movies.
Yeah, Joshua, did I share that one with you yet?
Bleach?
Yes. So that's one of the ones we have to watch next.
Can somebody pick Inuyasha, please?
But you know about Inuyasha.
Only from fan fiction.
Oh, okay, well.
And the 3 seasons I watched.
So you'll see relationships that don't exist in the show. And
no,
you'll be like, hold on a
all
second.
The relationships that I read about do exist in the show.
But you haven't seen the show. How
Inuyasha
do you know this?
And Kagome, they exist.
How do you know
Sango
this? You
and
haven't
Moroku,
seen the show.
They exist. Sashomaru and Rin, that'll exist someday.
I'm saying that relationship. Does that exist already in the show?
Yes, it does.
But you haven't seen it. How do you know?
I've seen, like, a lot of the show, okay?
Well.
And I've read a lot more fan fiction than I've seen. I went on fanfiction.net and I sorted by, like, the highest rated stories. And I was like, Reddit. I've probably read 3 pages of the highest rated stories. That's a sickness.
Let me know if you find some from Rogue One with Krennic and Galen.
Oh, it exists. I went on to, like, the Voltron, the Legendary Defender, to find Shiro and Ulaz.
Mm-hmm.
Even though
Is it there?
No, it's not.
Oh,
Ulaz isn't even a character that you can choose.
That's insane.
I'm sure it exists. A lot of them were Shiro and Princess Allura.
That's boring.
I know.
I want the funny
Shiro
shippings.
And Ulaz. That's where it's at. It's totally there. Like, he popped on the screen and I'm like, yep, there it is. There's a love story. And you're like, what are you talking about? I'm like, what happens on Zarkon ship stays on Zarkon ship.
See, those are the ones I care about. Are the ones that they shouldn't make. Like Jin's dad and Krennic. What?
Oh, there's lots. Let's see. What other animes should we watch? Things that I've read fan fiction about too, please.
Huge thanks to all listeners for giving us the best month. Mm-hmm. The second best month in 2017, best month in the last 2 years, second best month for the podcast's history is January. So huge thank you. Don't forget about the giveaway. Give them the hashtag again.
Hashtag all hail Kelli.
And for a link on everywhere you can find us, head on over to thereasonsimbroke.com. You also find an interactive podcast player there. And also, don't forget to check out patreon.com/thereasonsimbroke. For as little as $1 a month, that's less than a bag of chips, you too can support the podcast and get the show early.
Thank you all so much for tuning in this week and every single week. I'm Kelli.
And I'm Daniel.
We'll see you next week.